Hello, everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Amy Stanley. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Texas. And as you probably see by the title below, this is episode 1 of our Girls Talk video. Today's first episode, we're talking about self-worth, self-love, self-acceptance, overcoming things like that. And I had put a poll up or a question up on my Instagram. I had asked girls, if I were to start this series, what topics would y'all want to hear about? Would y'all want to talk about? And this was the first question that I actually received, or not question, but sort of question, the first response I had received. And it's something that all girls go through. It's something that I go through every single day of my life. It's something that I have not overcome, and it's something that will take a while for young women to overcome. But this is the question I received, and I'm not going to name the names of the people who asked the questions because I just don't want them to feel embarrassed. But the question was, I tend to compare myself to other girls, etc. Any advice on how to fix it to where I don't feel like that anymore? First of all, I think that is a great question. And like I said, we've all been there. If you say that you have not, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not telling the truth, because we've all compared ourselves to other girls. We've all done it. Because in our minds, there's always someone prettier, there's always someone nicer, there's always someone better than us, there's always someone who has more than us, there's always someone who, certain things. It's just, the list goes on and on and on. But I struggle with this. I will be the first to admit it. I do struggle with this. I compare myself to other people pretty much on a daily basis. It's not easy, because in my mind, I don't think that I'm all of that. I don't think that I'm the prettiest girl out there. I don't think that I'm maybe the skinniest girl. I don't think that I'm enough. I don't think that I'm worth anything. It's an everyday thing. I've gotten better, and I'll tell you some of the ways that I have gotten better. But a lot of it had to do with the people I was around. And I'm not saying that you need to cut out everybody in your life, but just for example, I was actually with someone who made me feel like I was not worth anything, who I was ugly, I would never be enough for this person, etc., etc., etc. We're not going to go into full detail about that. So I know that it doesn't only come from yourself, it can come from other people too. And so the first thing that I had to learn was that those people for me were not good in my life, and I needed to cut them out. I'm not going to be rude to them. I'm not going to be rude about it. I might have a rude attitude about it, but I just have to pray about it and put that down. The first thing I would say about this is, what does the Bible say about self-worth? If we look in Genesis 1:26 through 27, I'm not going to read the scripture, but if you would like to go read it, you can. It speaks about being made in God's image. That's the first thing. When you get to that point where you're like, I'm not worth anything, I'm ugly, I hate myself, why did God make me look like this? Why can't I look like a supermodel? I may not sometimes be happy with what I look like or who I am, but then I have to think that God created me in His image, and He is perfect. I'm not perfect, but He is. And so if this is how He created me, and if I'm created in His image, then I should not be tearing down something that He created, because everything that He creates is beautiful. Everything from the earth to the animals to people, everything He created is beautiful. And that's something that I have to tell myself constantly, is that God created me and I shouldn't be tearing myself down. In fact, the Bible does say to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So if you're expected to love your neighbor, but you don't love yourself, well, then you're not going to love your neighbor, obviously. I feel like that's so obvious. You're not going to love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. you're also not going to be able to love God if you don't love yourself, because you're created in His image. His image. And if you don't love yourself, how can you have room in your heart to love God? That may not be how everyone sees it, but this is how I see it. Some of the ways that I have overcome the struggle of hating myself and learning to love myself was, one, like I said before, cutting toxic people out of my life. I know that's such a big trend, toxic people, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? It really is the truth. It really is. Once this person that was in my life that made me hate myself, that made me so insecure, to the point where I just would look in the mirror and just tell myself, wow, you're not worth anything. You're ugly. I hate you. I don't know why you were ever created. Literally, those were things I would tell myself every single day, because I was never good enough for this person. Never good enough. And I didn't know, I tried everything I could be to be good enough for this person. But the truth is, that person didn't love their self. So there was no way that that person could love me for who I was. And that took me a while to learn. And cutting that person out of my life was how it helped. Secondly, I let God help me. I prayed about it and I asked Him to help me to love myself again, to appreciate myself again, to not be so hard on myself. And yes, I still struggle with it every single day. It's a constant struggle all the time, constantly. Something else is, I have friends who love me and who support me, and they lift me up and they tell me, you're beautiful. We love you. You're perfect. Not, you know what I mean? We love you the way that you are. Don't tear yourself down. People like that are the people that you need in your life. My family, they tell me constantly, we're so proud of you. We love you. We're so proud of all the accomplishments you've made. You're beautiful. We just, all of those things is what helps. And lastly is I met a guy, my boyfriend Josh, who saw me at some of the lowest points of my life when we were just best friends. I saw him at some of the lowest points of his life, and he was patient with me and he helped me to overcome those struggles that I had. And it doesn't happen like that for everybody, and I thank God for him. And I know that it was God who sent him to me at the right time, the right moment, to help me start to love myself again. And it doesn't happen like that way for everyone, but it did, it did for me, and I'm so thankful for it, because I don't know where I would be if those constant supporters in my life would not be there to help me. I was recently talking about some things like this with one of my best friends, and we were talking about, this series and me starting it up, and she was like, I really think that this is a great idea, because young girls don't hear stuff like this nowadays. They need things like this to help them, to help guide them along, to help, grow. And we were talking about some things that we've both been through, and she brought up some things that she has been through in the past and some hurts that she went through. And she made this statement that just really stuck out to me, and it said, I fell out of love with myself and with God without even noticing. And when I read that, I literally started bawling, because I was like, wow, what a profound statement. I fell out of love with myself and with God without even noticing. Because she had been hurt so many times by so many people who didn't deserve to be in her life. And they had hurt her to the point where that she fell out of love with herself, and she fell out of love with God, and she never even noticed it, because she was so caught up in the moment and so caught up of trying to be perfect for somebody. And I relate completely. I've been there, and that just blew my mind when she said that. I didn't even tell her that this was going to be in the video, and I'm not going to release her name because it's not really in my business to do that. I think that these things can help you as a young lady, whether you know God or whether you don't know God. I don't know really who all is going to be watching this video, but this applies to you too. God loves you. God knows you. God's the one who created you. God knew you before you were born, You are made in His image and He loves you. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. And when you go through those times and those struggles, just remember those things. And just remember that you are enough. And don't let anybody tell you that you're not enough, because you are. And you'll make it through it. That's it for today. I thank you guys for watching this video. And I hope to see you on the next episode, which will be coming pretty soon, hopefully. I'm going to try to do these pretty often. So don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment, give me some ideas on some videos that you would like to see. Please feel free to share this video with your friends, your family, anybody who you feel like needs this. I hope that it ministers to somebody today, and I hope that you know where I'm coming from, and I hope that you can relate to these things, and I hope that it's something that I said in this helped you. Thank you guys again for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next video. Bye.